What's up, everybody, to another episode of Hentai to Listen. I am Jarrett, once again, all alone. Usually I try to do a weekly, like Thursday update of, rants and shit. But once again, Matt's at work, couldn't get off, so I'm going to do this by myself, just to keep the ball rolling. First and foremost, we're gonna what's going on today, but I like to give a skull chant going. What a nail biter that was against the Bears. Stripped at the last second. Dantzler pretty much iced the game right then and there, and we are 4-1. Packers lost. We are on top of on the North NFC North. Let's see if the Rams can pull out to beat the Cowboys and what have you. But enough about that. What we have on the schedule right now. Talk about Extreme Rules. What happened there last night? Have let's see. Top 10. Most anticipated anime from who is this from? According to Phil Marks. Go through that. I'll give you a hentai review, and that, and then I'll talk about what I've been talking about usually when it's just by myself. About going overseas. If after I'll talk about that after review. If you want to stop it right there, you can. If you want to hear me but what I plan on doing, again, it's more like a audio blog rant ish stuff that you hear me say. You can stick around for that. So let's move right along into the WWE Extreme Rules 2022. First up, the first match was the Brawling Brutes versus Imperium. Good old fashioned Donnybrook match. I gotta say, very, very strong opening. Hats off to Paul, aka Hunter, with the Triple H. Very good. I was kind of hoping Sheamus would walk into this match as an Intercontinental Champion. It was hard to say who's gonna win this one. I think it depends on, in my knowledge, it's like whoever loses the night before typically wins the next one, especially if there was a championship involved. It was good. Um, ex, I didn't know what a Donnybrook match was. I mean, I knew it was going to be a no DQ match. I figured it'd be one of those matches that I forgot what it was at AEW. Not this past one, but the one before it. I can't remember what it was, but everybody's fighting everybody all over the place. That's what it was. Yeah, so I got to give it up to Brawling Brutes. This was a good opening against Imperium. Hopefully, I would like to see maybe we won't see Sheamus versus Gunther 3. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. Who knows? Maybe the story will keep on going, but we'll find out. Next one is this Women's SmackDown Championship, Liv versus Ronda. Uh, this was horrible, honestly. Any match I think with Ronda is pretty boring in itself. Even if this was an Extreme Rules match, it wasn't much extreme. I mean, it was this match was lackluster. Everybody knows it, and if I mean, I'm not saying what the women's division is bad, but when it comes to Ronda or Liv or any other, mid tier superstars, you can kind of see what they're doing as far as choreograph goes, because it seems like they do certain things in segments and not just a full on. you know, a flow. It's just in segments of you could see what's coming and what's not. I mean, they really wanted to hammer this bad in an Extreme Rules match. I think there was one table, if I remember, and that was that. Uh, I don't know what's gonna happen now. Um, I don't know who's gonna challenge Ronda now for the SmackDown Championship. Maybe Becky Lynch will switch over to SmackDown, and Flair will go over to Raw. Who knows? Maybe Raquel will challenge her, but that might not happen because now Raquel's with Shotzi and they're kind of going after the tag titles. So we'll see. Do we really need another couple months? It's going to be a couple months considering there's no, you know, Prime Live event in December, which is bogus. I mean, make I guess since another January 1st falls on a Saturday, so I wish they bring back TLC for December. Maybe next year, as long as a day one, January 1st doesn't fall on a Saturday for 2024. Anyway, next up, Drew McIntyre versus Karen Cross for strap match. It was okay for a strap match. I expected what it would be for a strap match. A lot of whips from it. Not surprising from Scarlett to get involved. As far as moving forward, I really have nothing to say except for what I just said. As far as moving forward, maybe this is it. We don't see, Drew versus Cross part 2 with Scarlett not there. I don't see. I really don't see a stipulation match where Drew wins and Scarlett can't come, or Drew gets a female to be on his side to make sure Scarlett doesn't interfere. So it was all right, but I expected what you expect. Next up is Raw Women's Championship, Bianca Belair versus Bayley in a ladder match. I honestly thought Bayley was gonna win. Uh, because she was without Asuka and Alexa Bliss, which, by the way, is an odd combination for a tag team. Uh, I don't know because I was kind of hoping Bayley would win, and then maybe they'll push Bliss back into a championship title run, whether it's a month or two, like they did with Liv. Uh, very surprised that Belair won. Maybe Bayley will win on a Raw episode in 2 weeks, uh, or maybe they'll do a regular straight up match at Crown Jewel. Who knows? But still very surprised that Belair won. I'm still counting on Bayley to win at some point before the year is out. Maybe before the month is out. Next up is Edge versus Finn Balor in a quit match. I thought this was pretty much going to go in Edge favor until you see Beth Phoenix. As soon as Beth Phoenix entered the scene, you kind of knew where was this going to headed. Last year. Was it last year? Yeah. Was it last year? No, maybe it was 2020. Hell in a Cell, Reigns versus Jay, and then Reigns choked out Jimmy to make Jay say I quit. So, not surprising, like I said, with, Beth Phoenix entered the scene. I'm still trying to figure out, I looked it up as far as Rhea Ripley is Is she injured? I'm not sure. Uh, I figured Beth Phoenix would be that third. It'd be Edge, Beth, and somebody else, whether it's AJ or Ray versus the Judgment Day in a mixed tag match. But we probably won't get that until day one, maybe. Um, yeah, maybe. Uh, even if Beth Phoenix wasn't in the pictures, the biggest question would be who would wrestle, who would join forces against female. What female would join forces against the face Rhea Ripley in a mixed, 8-man, 6-man tag match? Everybody's pretty much taken for on the Raw side. Uh, you know, I don't see a Bliss joining that Crusade. Asuka, I don't see. Same thing with Belair. Uh, I mean, even before um, Damage Control entered the scene, I just didn't see any of those three. Who else is, you know, Dana Brooke? We haven't really seen much. Uh, yeah, so maybe they're just holding off because they're trying to figure out. Well, shit, who do we? We need somebody to wrestle Ripley. We have no one. So, yeah, we'll see. Um, Next one up is Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins in a fight pit match. It was decent. Um, it was. I mean, I don't watch NXT, so I didn't know. This is my first time watching a fight pit match. Um, Not what I expected. I mean, I expected more of a MMA type style match, but since Matt Riddle is in there, you know that and Rollins will probably go for more submission moves than trying to stomp Riddle's head in. Even though he did that a couple times. Um, Although I guess the biggest highlight of that match was a Broton from on top of the cage, and then make Rollins tap out. So I think that was pretty much it of that feud. I don't see it any way going forward. Um, you know, who knows? Rollins might win because Russell Talks thinks Rollins is gonna win against Bobby, and then Rollins will face Daniel Cormier for it. I don't know at Crown Jewel. I just seen Daniel Cormier. He doesn't look like somebody who's gonna step in a ring in 3 weeks time. I just don't see that. So I don't see that happening at all. You never know. Maybe what was it last week? We seen Omos eyeing I think it was Bobby. No, I take that back. That was Braun Strowman. He was eyeing Braun Strowman. That wasn't. Uh, but yeah. Now you gotta wonder who's gonna face who. Maybe this time Matt Riddle will join in that crusade against Judgment Day. Uh, we'll see on that one. And then we come to the big highlight of the night, and that's the return of Bray Wyatt um, in a new, in his original, Bray Wyatt cult leader type thing. I'm assuming. It seems like it. This time he also has a septum piercing just like Braun Strowman on the scene. I just don't get that, but hey, his is on. Question is, I wonder what his creativity as far as is going to be now. There was a lot of interviews with Triple H saying Wyndham's creativity is like through the roof. He's, oh my god, what he wants to do. but couldn't because Vince was like, But now that Triple Paul is in command, they're just letting Wyndham free reign on his creativity. So the question is, on my mind, is now that he's back, what storyline he's gonna do? What his first, whatever rivalry is gonna be? Is he gonna go after Reigns? Since 2 years ago from Payback, I could definitely see him going after Rhodes when he gets back. I could definitely see that. Uh, I don't know, but right now, is he going to be on Raw? Is he going to go back to SmackDown? We'll figure that out tomorrow. Um, yeah, you got to wonder who's going to take now. I could totally. I know this is a little ahead of schedule or early of schedule as far as Royal Rumble winners. Now that he's back, I could definitely see him winning if they don't bring in DJ to face off Reigns and take that title. Um, but yeah, I could definitely see Bray winning the Rumble. I think they said 9 months recovery for Rhodes. I figured he was gonna win, but I think I saw an article about they're not gonna give Rhodes a title anytime soon, at least in the foreseeable future, probably like early 23. I could see him winning the title at SummerSlam, if not, if not winning, a title at WrestleMania, but definitely at SummerSlam. Um, I would like to see Seth win a second, title, you know, second Rumble. I figured they were gonna give Reigns a second Rumble win, but guess not. Like, we'll just give you a long tenature of being champion instead. But yeah, other than Rhodes, which I don't know if he's gonna make it back to the Rumble, but at this point, the only person I could see winning the Rumble is now it's either Bray Wyatt at number one, followed by Bobby Lashley, depending on if he goes into the Rumble as United States champion, which I don't see happening. But we'll find out. We'll see. We'll see. On to the top 10 most anticipated fall anime according to Filmarks. This was they didn't give really the number of how many votes or anything like that. But anyway, number 10 is Bleach, the Thousand Year War. Basically, the final arc of Bleach after, I don't, so many years of the last season of, how many, 10 plus years of series being done, or at least that part of it. The future, whatever, doesn't matter. Number 9, Cyberpunk and Edge Runners. Number 8 is Mob Psycho, third season. Number 7 is Yojo Yuhan Time Machine Bus. Number 6 is Stone Ocean, second course. Number 5 is the fourth season of Golden Kamuy. Number 4 is the remake Yurusei Yatasora. Yeah. Number 3 is the sixth season of My Hero. Number 2 is Spy Family, second course. I don't know why they call it second course. I mean, I guess it's part 2. Not really a second season. I don't know why they continued. I don't know why companies, both live action and anime does this. Like, I don't know, whatever. And number one is Chainsaw Man, probably the most anticipated one, I guess, the last 2 years, maybe, or at least of this year. Everybody's waiting for that Chainsaw Man to drop, and so everybody can check it out and what have you. That being said, let's go on to this review. Uh, this title I watched, it's called, I'm probably gonna butcher it as usual. Is Hyakkiya Tantei Jimusho. Yeah, butchered the hell out of that. This is a 4 episode series, about 15, 16 minutes long. It's about the a cat-eared spirit detective. Seems like a detective who goes around, gets calls saying of supernatural deaths, and tries to figure them out. And turns out it's a bunch of yokai, causing these deaths. The first episode was what was it? Who was the? I don't remember. But anyway, the first one is basically the going out into a mountain range trying to find this yokai who's just going around raping dudes, or not dudes, yeah, actually raping guys, and turns out most of the scenes, the sex scenes from 1 to 4, is from her cat, who is both her has a woman and a male side. Most of the time, it's in female form until it goes in male form, and it turns into like a Pokemon looking, cat creature who basically who ends up, saving the day with his penis and whatnot. I mean, eventually you know, the detective cat lady eventually, has some action in it at some point throughout this. It's kind of like Sailor Moon. She's in trouble getting sexually violated, and then the cat turns into a male, and then saves the day. But at the end of the thing, turns out I guess her parents' soul essence and memories is implanted in this cat, her cat companion, and at the end of it, it kind of turned incest. But the weird thing about it doesn't have the tag of incest, so it's kind of weird. It's like, is this incest? It's kind of weird because he does say daughter and everything like that. Um, it's weird. It's funny. So if you like yoka, the you know genre, I should say, uh, definitely good watch. You could definitely watch this in less than an hour because, like I said, it's 16 minutes. Pretty good. From 21, so the animation's good. Um, it's by the makers that did the cosplay change. Uh, if you've seen the first episode, they kind of play off of cosplay of the detective from the series I just mentioned. I haven't watched all of the cosplay change. Maybe I'll do that next if I'm by myself. But definitely the animation's good. Um, Plot in itself, it's pretty straightforward detective work, demons. So yeah, I would definitely give this a good watch. So I mean, if you wanna stick around, that was pretty much an interview. Like I said, it's just me. There's not much to go. It's just to keep up the weekly release. I guess try to keep it weekly. So if you want to, turn it off here because you got your review fixed in, that's fine. If you want to Keep listening on my current situation as far as finding um, my future wife and my quest to overseas, being the overseas bros. If you are in that scene, I should say, especially on YouTube and everything like that. So originally, I was I don't remember what I said the first time when I started this. Originally, I said I was going to do the individual tour, where I just go over there, and I'll just do basic stuff. And then I flipped and say, you know what? Then I talked to some of the, I guess, people at the agency. Say, yeah, well, you can, but you get more from the group tour. You get the 2 night socials and everything like that. So yeah, let me guess. All, even though it's gonna be a lot more. The main differences between the individual and the group was the two nightly socials back to back, which would be a Friday and Saturday. The hotel and the excursions. Turns out the excursions they only do like two. Doesn't matter how many days you're there, whether you're there for 7, 10, or 14. I guess they only have two, maybe three if you're there for 14. I'm not sure, but it was two excursions. So and then I kind of broke it down. Like, well, the only reason why, like, in the past, sending letters to this one girl. It just seems like, you know, I wouldn't say she's saying the right things, but she's kind of saying the right things where, I'm like, okay, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Some of the things she was saying before I asked that question, it's like, I'm like, yeah, this is definitely what I'm looking for. Do I really want to go on a group tour now and spend an extra, X amount of dollars, even though I'm pretty sure I'm going to spend majority of my time with her. Uh, you know, um, so it's like, I think I'm just going to do the individual tour. Um, maybe go early, get some leeway. I'm like, hey, if I've been with her, maybe 3 days, and I realize, you know what, this ain't gonna work. I'm gonna go I'm gonna try to see, get other introductions going, because if you go individual, you get like three introduces per day. You also get $100 off through, a social night. I haven't got an answer back saying this is how much. If there, I sent the email stating if there's room, how much would it cost to go on a social. I'm still waiting on that answer, but it just seems like now. I think she might be, the one. We'll find out. Uh, the only thing right now I'm a little concerned about is a couple days ago, or I should say a week ago, I sent her a GIF. Finally got, confirmation, a letter from her, you know, saying she liked it and everything like that. Um, I gotta say, a couple things. The only thing I'm a little, and then following that letter, I sent her another one. Normally, she gets back to me pretty, like, I get a letter from her or three as soon as I wake up, and I normally send the letters like somewhere before midnight, and I typically get a letter like the next morning I wake up. I didn't get that, so that's a little worrisome. I know it's a little weird to say that, but you know, uh, it does cost. It did cost money to send. letters to this. I mean, I get it. This is through an agency and not really much through, say, Facebook or whatever like that. Through Facebook, I mean, yes, you probably heard stories. There are success stories and everything like that. Police on here, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to give him too much credit. I mean, you may call me an idiot. Yes, I'm probably an idiot spending X amount of dollars sending a letter. But I am pacing myself through this process where I'm not spending godly amount of money to just to communicate for communication. Um, I mean, this agency does have a very good track record, so I know I'm not getting duped in a way. Um, I mean, it does. I think I read it did happen a couple times on here. So far, she hasn't asked for money. If she did, I'm like, yeah, I would have cut that off a long time ago, but she hasn't. Um, so we'll see. Right now, I'm still looking at that, certain day to go next year at the end of January. I'll just, get my own hotel, um, and not, and everything like that. Because I was trying to, because right now, I want to stay in the hotel that normally you would stay at, and it's a lot. So far, it's a lot cheaper than just doing the individual tour and just paying my own hotel. I mean, yeah. So if this individual one doesn't work out, especially with the girl communicating with, I'll just save up and do the group tour. Either uh, later on in the year. Who knows if my job will let me? Because I don't know if I'm still looking at the 10 days to go, but I'm also kind of want to do the 14 at the same time. I don't know if 10 days is enough. 14 definitely seems like enough. 7 definitely is not enough. 10 seems okay, but you gotta wonder how much of a jet lag am I gonna be. I don't know how much. I emailed her saying, hey, are you gonna take off like all the days I'm gonna be there or what? That's what I'm kind of waiting to hear. That will kind of let me know on maybe I should go for 14 if she can't get most of the days. I mean, that's a little weird. I don't know if it's weird, but if if she can't get all the days for 10, maybe need to get that 14 so I can get more time and whatnot. So, but that's that. Yeah, um, that's about it. I can really answer or say, I should say, about that. Um, so yeah, so I'll keep you guys in the loop. Um, what's happening around my life? I like to rant. Obviously, you guys know. Again, I'll try to keep this weekly, just to hear something, what's going on in the world, and it's going around the anime life, the hentai life, and everything like that. But yeah, I'll go. Thanks for sticking around. Hmm. Sorry, I have like stuff in my nose, just going up my nose and everything like that. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. And until next time, see you around.